Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mrs. English Channel. I'm Grace, and I'm so happy to have you here with us today.
And I'm Michael. Hi, everyone. It's always great to see you back for another English lesson. Today, we have a very interesting topic for our A1 English learners, something that everyone can relate to: jobs.
That's right, Michael. Today we're going to learn how to talk about your job in English. This is such an important topic because it's one of the first things people ask you when they meet you. What do you do? So by the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly how to answer that question with confidence.
Exactly. In this episode, we'll show you step by step how to describe what you do, where you work, what your daily tasks are, and even what your dream job might be. Everything is explained in simple, clear English. Perfect for beginners.
That's right. Here's what we'll cover today. First, how to say what your job is. For example, I'm a teacher, or I work as a designer. Then, we'll learn how to describe your daily responsibilities and talk about your typical day at work. Next, we'll explore how to describe your workplace and talk about whether it's formal or informal. After that, we'll learn to express how you feel about your job, talk about your past experience, and even your future goals.
That sounds like a full lesson, doesn't it? Don't worry, we'll take it step by step, and we'll give you lots of easy examples so you can follow along. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to speak about your job naturally and confidently.
Before we begin, if you enjoy learning English with us, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Mrs. English Channel. Your support really helps us continue creating more free English lessons for you.
Yes, and we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a comment below and tell us where you're watching from and what your job is.
That's a great idea, Michael. It's always wonderful to get to know our learners from all over the world.
So, Grace, are you ready to begin?
Of course. Let's dive into the world of work and learn how to talk about our jobs in English.
All right, everyone, get comfortable and let's get started.
All right, everyone, let's get started with the basics. The first question people usually ask when they meet you is, what do you do? So, how can you answer that question in English?
Good question, Grace. The easiest way is to say your job title. For example, I am a teacher. It's short, simple, and very clear.
Exactly. You can also say, I work as a designer, or I work as a nurse. Both are correct and sound natural. Let's try a few more examples together.
Sure. Repeat after us. I'm a doctor. I'm a driver. I'm a chef. I work as an engineer. I work as a shop assistant.
Perfect. Those are great examples. Now, sometimes people don't just ask what you do, they also want to know where you work. In that case, you can say, I work for or I work at.
Right. For example, I work for a marketing company, or I work at a hospital. If you want to talk about the field you're in, you can say, I work in education, or I work in construction.
That's a good point. Let's review that together. We use for when we talk about the company, like I work for Apple. We use at when we talk about the place, like I work at a school. And we use in when we talk about the field or industry, like I work in marketing.
Exactly. So, Grace, who do you work for?
Well, I work for Mrs. English Channel, of course, and sometimes I also work as a content creator for other English projects.
That's great. As for me, I work as an English teacher. I create lessons, record videos, and help students learn English online.
That sounds like a fun job, Michael. And here's something important. If you have your own business, you can say, I'm self-employed.
Yes, self-employed means you're your own boss. You don't work for anyone else. For example, I'm self-employed. I run my own photography business.
That's right. And if you want to sound more natural, you can add a little more information. For example, I work for a technology company as a software engineer, or I work in a restaurant as a chef.
Those are really good sentences to practice. Let's review some useful structures one more time.
Sure. Repeat after us. I'm a plus job. I work as plus job. I work for plus company. I work at plus place. I work in plus field. I'm self-employed.
Excellent. You did great. Now you can answer the question, what do you do, naturally and confidently?
That's right. And don't forget, you can combine these sentences to make your answer longer. For example, I'm a teacher. I work for a language school in the city.
Perfect. Now that you know how to talk about your job title and where you work, it's time to learn how to describe what you actually do every day.
Yes, in the next part, we'll learn how to talk about your responsibilities and daily work routine.
Let's move on.
Now that you know how to say what your job is, let's talk about what you actually do every day at work. This part is very important because it helps you explain your main duties and tasks.
Yes, that's right. When someone asks, "What do you do at work?" they want to know about your daily responsibilities. And there are a few simple ways to describe them.
You can start by saying, I'm responsible for, or my main task is, or I usually, followed by the action you do. Let's look at a few examples.
Sure. I'm responsible for teaching English to students. My main task is to plan lessons. I usually check my emails in the morning.
Perfect. You can also say, I manage social media, or I help customers every day, or I design websites. These sentences show what your job involves in a simple way.
Exactly. You don't need to make long or complicated sentences. Short, clear answers are great, especially if you're a beginner.
Yes, that's true. Let's make a short example conversation so you can hear how it sounds in real life.
Okay. Grace, what are your main responsibilities at work?
I'm responsible for creating English lessons and preparing new scripts for Mrs. English Channel.
That's a good answer, and it's true. You really do a great job at that.
Thank you, Michael. And what about you? What do you do every day?
I prepare lessons, record videos, and teach English to students online.
That's perfect. So you see, everyone, it's easy to describe what you do if you use a few key phrases.
Let's practice some of them together. Repeat after us. I'm responsible for. My main task is. I usually. I manage. I help. I prepare.
Great job! Try to make your own sentences using these phrases. You can write them down or say them out loud.
Yes, and you can combine ideas to make your answer more interesting. For example, I'm responsible for helping customers and preparing reports. Or, my main task is to design websites and manage online content.
Very good. You can also add a reason to make your answer sound complete. For example, I'm responsible for helping customers because I work in customer service. Or my main task is to teach English because I am a teacher.
That's a great tip. Adding a short reason makes your answer sound more natural and clearer.
So, to summarize, when you talk about your responsibilities, think about 3 things. First, what are your main tasks? Second, what do you do every day? And third, why do you do it?
That's a simple but very effective structure. Now that we've learned how to describe our responsibilities, let's move on to the next topic: how to talk about your daily routine at work.
Yes, that's the fun part. Let's see how to describe what your typical workday looks like. Now let's talk about your daily routine at work. People are often curious about what your day looks like from morning to evening, and this is also a great way to practice the present simple tense.
Yes, that's right. When you describe your daily routine, you can start by saying what time you begin and finish work. For example, I start work at 9 a.m. and finish at 5 p.m. Simple and clear.
Exactly. Then you can add what you usually do during the day. For example, every morning I check my emails and attend a short meeting. That's a very common start to the day.
And after that, you can continue with your main tasks. For example, then I work on my projects until lunch. Or I have lunch with my colleagues at 1 p.m.
You can also include small details to make your answer sound more natural. For example, I take a short coffee break in the afternoon, or I talk with my coworkers about our projects.
Those small details make your description more real. Let's make a full example together. I start work at 9 a.m. Every morning, I check my emails and attend a short meeting. Then I work on my main tasks until lunch. I have lunch with my colleagues at 1 p.m. In the afternoon, I work on new projects and sometimes have meetings. I usually finish around 5 p.m.
That's a perfect example, Michael. You can use this same pattern to describe your own day. Just change the activities.
For example, if you're a teacher, you can say, every morning, I prepare my lessons. Then I teach students. After lunch, I check homework and plan for the next day.
Or if you're a designer, you can say, I start work at 10 a.m. I design graphics for clients. I have lunch around 1 p.m. In the afternoon, I meet with my team and work on new ideas.
Very good examples. So, when you describe your routine, remember to include 3 things. First, what time you start and finish. Second, what you do in the morning and afternoon. And third, if you have breaks or talk with your coworkers.
Yes, and don't forget to use time expressions like every morning, then, after lunch, in the afternoon, and usually. They make your English sound smooth and natural.
That's right. And you can also mention where you do certain things. For example, I have lunch in the office cafeteria, or I take a coffee break at a small cafe near my office.
Great idea. These small details make your story sound more real. Let's share one more example. Every morning, I check my messages and plan my lessons. Then I record new videos for Mrs. English channel. I have lunch at home, and in the afternoon, I edit videos and prepare new materials.
That's exactly what you do, Grace. And my day is quite similar. Every morning, I answer emails and prepare lessons. Then I teach students until noon. After lunch, I plan my next lessons and sometimes meet with other teachers.
That sounds like a busy but meaningful day, Michael.
So, now you know how to describe a typical day at work in English. Great job, everyone. Now, let's move on to the next part, where we'll talk about your work environment, the place where you work, and what it's like.
Let's continue. All right, everyone, now that you know how to describe your daily routine, let's talk about your work environment, the place where you work. This helps you explain what your workplace looks like and what it feels like to be there.
Yes, that's a great topic. When you talk about your work environment, you can start by saying where you work. For example, I work in an office, or I work from home.
Exactly. These days, many people work remotely. You can say, I work remotely or I work from home. If you go to the office a few days a week, you can say, I have a hybrid job, which means you work some days at home and some days in the office.
That's right. And if you work outside, you can say, I work outdoors. For example, I work outdoors as a park ranger, or I work on a construction site.
That's a nice variety of jobs. Now, let's talk about the atmosphere at work. Is your workplace formal or informal?
Good question. A formal workplace usually means you wear a suit or a uniform, and there are many rules. An informal workplace is more relaxed. Maybe you can wear jeans and speak more casually.
That's right. For example, you can say, my workplace is formal. We have to dress professionally. Or, my workplace is informal. We can wear comfortable clothes.
So, Grace, what's your workplace like?
Well, our workplace is quite informal. We can wear what we like, and the atmosphere is friendly and creative.
Yes, I agree. We have a relaxed but focused environment. It helps us stay creative and productive.
And that brings us to another important topic, your coworkers. You can describe how you get along with them. For example, my coworkers are very friendly, or we work closely together as a team.
Yes, that's an important part of any job. You can also say, I work in a small team, or I work in a big office with many people.
Exactly. Let's also learn some useful vocabulary related to your work environment. First, we have open space. That means a large office area with many desks and no walls between them.
Then we have deadline. That's the time when you must finish your work. For example, I have a deadline next week.
Yes, and boss is the person who manages you. Coworker is the person you work with. Client is the customer or company you work for.
And don't forget team, a group of people working together. For example, I work in a small team, or our team is very supportive.
And here's one more phrase, flexible hours. That means you can choose when to start and finish your workday. For example, I have flexible hours, so I can start at 8 or 9.
That's a nice perk to have. Let's review some example sentences. Repeat after us. I work in an office.
I work from home.
My workplace is informal.
My coworkers are friendly.
I have a deadline next week.
I work in a small team.
I have flexible hours.
Excellent. Those are very useful sentences to describe your work environment clearly and naturally.
Yes, great work, everyone. Now that you can describe where you work and what your workplace is like, let's move on to something more personal. How you feel about your job.
Yes. In the next part, we'll talk about job satisfaction, what you like or don't like about your work, your past experiences, and your goals for the future.
Let's continue.
Now, let's talk about something more personal, how you feel about your job. This is called job satisfaction. It means how much you enjoy your work.
Yes, that's right. You can start by saying whether you like your job or not. For example, I love my job, or I like my job because it's interesting.
Exactly. You can also say why you like it. For example, I love my job because it's creative, or I like my job because I meet new people every day.
That's a great way to express yourself. For me, I love my job because I get to help students learn English and improve their confidence.
That's wonderful, Michael. For me, I love my job because it's creative and I get to share knowledge with people around the world.
That's a great reason. Now, sometimes there are parts of the job we don't like so much. You can say, what I enjoy least is, or sometimes it can be stressful.
Yes, that's true. For example, what I enjoy least is working late at night. Or my job can be stressful sometimes, but I love my team. This way, you talk about both the challenges and the positive sides.
Exactly. Every job has good and bad parts, and that's normal. You can also say, my job can be stressful sometimes, but it's also rewarding.
That's a nice balance. Now let's talk about past experience. You can say, I used to work in, or before this, I worked as.
For example, I used to work in a small company, or before this, I was a student and I worked part-time at a coffee shop.
Perfect. And if you want to show what you learned, you can say, in my last job, I learned how to manage a team, or I learned a lot about customer service.
Yes, and that's very useful when you're talking about your career path. It shows how you've grown and what skills you've developed.
Exactly. For example, I used to be a salesperson, and I learned how to talk to many different people.
It's simple, clear, and very natural. Now, let's look into the future. You can talk about your future goals by saying, in the future, I'd like to, or my dream job is.
For example, in the future, I'd like to manage my own YouTube channel full-time. Or my dream job is to become a travel writer.
Those are great examples. You can also say, I want to become an expert in my field, or I want to learn more about digital marketing. That shows you're motivated and want to grow.
Yes, it's always good to show that you're learning new things. So, to summarize, when you talk about job satisfaction and career goals, think about 3 things. First, what you like about your job. Second, what you've learned from your past experience. And third, where you want to be in the future.
That's a great summary, Grace. Now, before we finish, let's talk about something very practical. How to ask other people about their jobs.
Oh yes, that's important for real conversations. The most common question is, what do you do?
Exactly. And after they answer, you can ask, do you like your job? Or how long have you worked there? These questions show interest and keep the conversation going.
You can also ask, what's the most interesting part of your job? Or what's a typical day like for you?
These are great for small talk or when you meet someone new. Yes, and it helps you learn more about other people while practicing your English at the same time.
So, everyone, today we covered a lot, from talking about your job title and daily routine to describing your workplace, your feelings, and even your future goals.
That's right. This lesson is full of useful phrases and ideas that you can start using right now. Remember, the best way to improve is to practice. Try to describe your own job in English today.
Yes, and if you enjoyed this lesson, please give us a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Mrs. English channel. Your support helps us make more lessons like this.
And don't forget to leave a comment below. Tell us, what do you like most about your job? Or if you don't have a job yet, what's your dream job?
We'd love to read your answers and get to know you better. Thank you so much for joining us today on Mrs. English channel.
Thank you, everyone. See you in the next lesson.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.